You're not going to believe how nasty your cell phone is. Ew! How dirty is your cell phone? How dirty is it? Well, we're going to test that out. Here I've got 2 petri dishes. One we're going to use as what's called a sterile swab baseline. Now, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, getting certified sterile water is kind of hard. So I'm making some sterile water. Now, it's not going to be perfect. It's not something you'd want to use to flush out a wound. So what I did, I took a stainless steel pot, cleaned it with alcohol, and then put purified water in it, and then boiled the crap out of it. And when you're swabbing things, you want a little bit of moisture on the cotton swab to help clean or help get whatever bacteriological sample you're wanting to get. So I've got these, these are sterile cotton swabs. And these, until I open the packaging, they are sterile. Here is my girlfriend's cell phone. We're going to swab this little puppy, and it's probably going to be terrible. So we're going to swab this. So first, we are going to mark the dishes, okay? We're going to mark one as, we've already got one set aside as the baseline. The baseline is one that came right from the factory, wasn't tampered with. We put it right into the bag, and we're not exposing it to anything. Now, the reason now 2 things about Petri dishes. One is you always store them upside down with the lid on the bottom, because when you cook them in an oven, you don't want condensation to form on the agar layer. You want to, and because the condensation can spoil your experiment. So this is a non-tampered with, marked in a Ziploc bag. And the second thing is you put them in a Ziploc bag because when these things are baked in an incubation oven, they can stink. So this one here is actually going to be the cell phone sample, okay? So we'll write on the bottom, sample. That's the cell phone sample. Now, because I'm making my own sterile water, who knows how good it's actually going to be, we're going to do a sterile swab baseline. So this one will be the swab baseline. This one we'll test to see how good of a job I did at making somewhat sterile water. I just cleaned the pot with alcohol, drained the alcohol out, put in purified water, and I'm just letting it boil. Admittedly, this is not the best scenario to actually do testing, but if you're in a laboratory, you're going to have all this worked out. But this is kitchen sink science, and this is a really good way to at least sterilize what water you have. You start off, again, I used alcohol to clean the pot. Then I drained all that out, let it dry. Then I put in water, and now I'm boiling it. I'm going to boil it for a few minutes. And then I'm going to use the steam from the boiling water for the Q-tip to swab the phone. This is a regular old incubator oven, bought it off eBay for about 150 bucks. I wouldn't go to that extreme to do this. Just put these on your hot water heater in your house. That'll keep it plenty warm. We're setting this for, we got the thermostat set for 90 degrees. We're going to do it for 72 hours. So in goes the baseline. I've got a couple other experiments already going. There goes the baseline. Cell phone sample. Oh, that's going to be yucky. and the swab baseline. And we start the clock. Now, what I predict will happen is that the cotton swab sterility test will come back maybe a little bit of bacteria because the method I used was not perfect. And in laboratory situations, you always want the best you can get. And I just could not find sterile water because of the COVID-19 pandemic crisis. It was being used, I guess, in hospitals to actually treat real patients. So I did the prep, took a steel saucepan, cleaned it well with alcohol, 70% alcohol, let it dry, then filled it with distilled water, then boiled that water for about 10 minutes, and then I used the steam from that water to moisten the Q-tip to collect the sample off the cell phone. But still, I just don't know if that's going to be enough. So we'll be able to tell since we did a swab sample from the steam, and everything else was sterile, we'll be able to tell how sterile it was. And then we can compare it to the cell phone. So if there's a little bit of growth from the agar from the swab sample, and there's a whole lot on the cell phone, we know that some of it may have come from the swab, but most of it come from the cell phone. So we have a baseline from the swab. We also have a baseline from the manufacturer, just when we did not expose anything, went right into a Ziploc, went into the incubation oven. So now we just gotta wait. So we've been letting our sample cook 145 hours, 6 days. We've been letting it cook for a little bit more than 6 days. And the reason is the agar we used, it needed a little bit more time to cook. We bumped up the temperature a little bit just for this batch of agar, but yeah, 6 days. So let's look at it. Here is the swab baseline. And here is the cell phone sample. So here we have our 3 samples. We have the baseline here, we have the swab baseline, and we have the cell phone sample. Okay? The baseline is straight from the manufacturer. All of these are straight from the manufacturer. Same lot number. We want to make sure that the agar wasn't contaminated, so we have a baseline sample that we did nothing with, didn't expose it to anything. And if you look, baseline's clean. There's nothing in there. Baseline's clean, as we expected. Set it aside. And now we have the swab sample. So the reason we had a swab sample is because I had sterile swabs, but I didn't have sterile water because of the pandemic. Sterile water was hard to come by. When I'm not talking distilled water or purified water, I'm talking honest to God, hospital grade, sterile water that you'd irrigate wounds and things like that. I didn't have that, so the next best thing was to take a pot, like a stove pot, and just clean it with rubbing alcohol, then empty that out, let it air dry, then boil water in it, and then take the sterile swab and put it in the steam after it's boiled a while and moisten slightly the Q-tip, because you need like a little bit of moisture on the Q-tip to pull off the bacteria, the fungus, the viruses, and all that stuff off of a solid surface. So this is that. And you can see there's a couple of dots. So our swab wasn't exactly clean, wasn't exactly perfect. And that shows up here and this is why we do these samples, to see what we're starting with. So the baseline was clean, we didn't expose it to anything. This we had a semi-sterile swab, best we could do in these conditions, but still we just a little bit of growth, two real, observable pockets of bacteria. Right, so we'll set this aside. And now we come to the cell phone sample. Ew! Oh, and it smells. I think it was dirty. I don't, it's like, oh man, that stinks. So usually how you identify these bacteria or whatever's growing is by using methods from pathology. It's the color, it's the shape, and lots of ways you identify these. And from just observation, just using my just plain old observation, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 types of distinct bacteria colonies in this one sample. And this is just a swab off of a cell phone. So this sample, this is not like somebody's been they're keeping their cell phone in their underwear for 4 straight years. This is only after 2 weeks, because the person they use the cell phone sample from, they clean their cell phone every time they go to the grocery store. They have a really good routine of when they clean their phone. This is only after 2 weeks of use. So yeah, 5 distinct colonies just by visual observation, which remember, observation is everything in science. 5 different types of bacteriological, maybe ones of fungus, colonies in this petri dish. So the fact we live in an active biological environment on Earth. And there's bacteria everywhere. You can't escape it. But if you want to do something fun that is easy to do, for a class or for your homeschooling or for working on your GED and just want to prove something to yourself, this is quite an easy experiment. You only need 2 or 3 petri dishes, 3 if you don't have any sterile water. You just need some alcohol, some sterile water, some sterile Q-tips, and somebody's nasty cell phone, or just any cell phone that's been used for a couple weeks, and this is kind of what you get. It's a really good way to master the art of petri dish sampling. Look at all of it growing. What's it gonna be? There's really I think there's a horror movie in here someplace, but I'm seeing, you see the one down here, the white colony there, that's distinct from the one over on top, the yellow-orange one. Then you have the bright yellow dots, and then you have the white ones, and you have the kind of a translucent. It looks like there's 5 different ones. So what's the lesson we can take away from the cell phone experiment? Well, there's active bacteria and fungus and viruses all around us. We can't get away from it because we live on a living world. Our world is full of life forms. Some we can see, some we can't see. So if you want these items to order so you can do this experiment for yourself at home, those links are below in the show notes. So that's it here from the chicken kitchen. If you have any questions or comments, just leave those in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like what I'm doing on this channel, please subscribe. It really helps out. And until next time, I'll be your lab partner. Take care. Bye-bye. Wash your hands. Clean your phone. Always clean up your lab.